on Facebook,
as you
Rob.
continue to trek the trails of your life, your attraction changes because your experience changes. Your experience with people changes. Your experience with your own sexuality changes. Your experience with the opposite sex changes. I am so thrilled and I'm so excited to welcome you to another part of Life Unscripted. It is a brand new podcast that's being called Dig Deeper. And Dig Deeper is a podcast that features my really great friend, my sister, Lisa Young, and myself. We together sit down and have a conversation about love, romance, and relationships, and we really do dig deep. Now, the way that you watch the first part of the episode is by clicking on the link down below. That's how you get to Lisa's page, where you will find the first episode of Dig Deeper. But the second part and the third part of Dig Deeper will appear right here on Life Unscripted. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to Dig Deeper.
So yeah. So we've kind of gone into a whole, but I mean, all that we've talked about has to do with, finding the supposed one, which I think we both agree there's no supposed one. There's finding someone, you know what I mean, that is right for you, that is compatible with you. So I think we talked about it a little bit, but I want to pose a question. Let's say, for the people that believe there is the one, do you think most people end up with the one, or do you think people just kind of forget?
I think it depends on what you consider to be the one. Because if you're considering to be the person to be the one that you've had the very deepest connection with, probably the most absolute filial style love and emotional affection for, you most likely will not end up with that person. Because I will tell you this, to this day, there was somebody that I dated for whom I had so much affection that I just cannot believe we're not together. But we were able to just connect so deeply on just about anything, we were just like so kindred. And I could literally talk with her about anything. I could talk to her anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the most amazing thing. But she got married to somebody else, And since that relationship, I cannot say that I have found that again just yet.
So what do you think happened? What do you think happened? Where did the disconnect come in?
I believe the disconnect came where she started to treat me like a buddy and not a boyfriend. And that's the part that I was like taken back, because we were in a sense retrogressing. We had come to a point of such capacity with each other's emotions that it was almost like we were coming back to the surface. So things went left. She got upset because I told her some things about me, some of my own limitations and some of my stuff that I was willing to do and wasn't willing to do. She got upset about it and she just copped out. And so she broke it off with me, and it was tough.
Wow.
It was tough because I was really in love with her. And also I was, her family was kind of telling her, yeah, you might want to be careful because, guys like him at that time, I was not making really any money and, those stories, But I think when you find the one, you've decided that this is the one for me. You know what I mean? It's not like you have the deepest, you may not have ever had the deepest connections. You never may have had the most, like you might marry somebody that's less attractive than somebody you used to date. You know what I'm saying?
I think that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm You
Because
know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, that's not even important. You
It's
know what I
not the
mean?
most important thing. You know what I'm saying? It's certainly most definitely not. That see, an attraction, and this is what people should who are focusing on the one and God ordained me, this and that. You know, what you should focus on is that your attraction changes with your traction in life. I'm
Tell
put
it,
that
Ross.
I'm
Write
I'm
it down.
I'm put that on Facebook.
Hey, you better put it on Facebook,
As you
Ross.
continue to trek the trails of your life, your attraction changes because your experience changes. Your experience with people changes. Your experience with your own sexuality changes. Your experience with the opposite sex changes. It's just your perspective changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you
it
can't
does.
expect your Man, I met so many pretty boy and pretty girl couples that they got married, and both them jokers is pretty boy and pretty girl. You ever seen them couples? They be
Yeah,
like,
they just look
hey,
beautiful. Like they
I'm
look
just
like out
like,
of the JC
but
Penney
they're just
catalog.
so bored with each other. They're bored. You know what I'm saying? And then you see some
Either
two.
that or they're competing with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's
But now
prettier?
if you find you two toothless jokers, they ain't barely got no teeth in their mouth to munch the mashed potatoes, but they love each other. They got 5 kids and 2 more on the way. I mean, like, they are in head over heels for each other,
Yeah.
because of their attraction for each other. It doesn't all boil down attraction. Any psychologist or sociologist will tell you that attraction does not boil down to looks. How did you know that your husband was the one for you?
You know, I came to the understanding some time ago that when you are trying to get to know someone and you're getting into a relationship with someone and you're dating, it shouldn't be difficult. Meaning, every conversation shouldn't be an argument. Every conversation shouldn't be a debate. It shouldn't be difficult for you guys to figure out, how to see each other, how to get time to talk to each other. Like you make it happen. You know what I mean? So when people say, "Oh, I didn't have time to call you," we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Right.
Don't Nobody has 23 and nobody has 25. We all have 24. What you choose to do with your 24 is one thing, but you not having time. It's about what you choose to do with your time, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, when my husband and I started dating, we were doing this long distance thing, which was weird. We met each other. We were both in Richmond. He was in a relationship. We met salsa dancing. I didn't really think much else about him really after that. We got back in contact, kind of on Facebook. Hey, how you doing? How's it been going? How are you and your girlfriend? Not no thinking this man is still in Richmond. We're just chatting. He's all the way in LA. But as time progressed, he was no longer with his girlfriend. I actually was trying to help him get his girlfriend back, which is funny. When so yeah, that was just funny. But I knew he was the one because our conversations were just of substance, and I could see it progress. We went from talking every once in a while to talking every week, talking every day, to talking several times a day. And I could clearly see the progression. Like when something good or bad happened, I was the first one he wanted to call. He was the first one I wanted to call. We always were trying to find ways to spend time with each other, even from coast to coast. We always had great conversations, very upfront with me. He was the one who asked me, "Look, do you want to get married and have kids? Because I want to get married and have kids." He was just really that blunt. Like, I'm not trying to waste my time. What you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because most men go running scared, sitting there praying. You don't ask them nothing about marriage or kids.
Right.
And he already had in his frame of mind, this is what I want. What is it that you want? And so in having those conversations where he was very straightforward, I was like, he's the one. And just everything went so smooth. And honestly, well before that, and all my prayers and everything, because I'm like, all right, Lord, what
What?
do I have to
What?
do? What is going on with me? And, I spent several years before that not dating because I was like, the common denominator in this foolishness is me. So let me get myself together because
Right.
I'm dating the same man in different bodies, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And God spoke to me and said, he may not be in your zip code. Now, at the time, I had no idea he meant the zip code all the way on the other coast.
Right.
But I had an understanding that, you know, he may not be here. And so I kind of I was open to whatever that may be. But again, he was just very straightforward about what it is that he wanted. He knew what he wanted. That was the other thing. He knew what he wanted in a woman. He knew what he wanted in terms of a relationship and marriage and all of that. Of course, we had to figure out the rest of it logistically in terms of being on opposite coasts. But, that's not the important thing. The important thing
Right.
was us finding in each other, what it is that we wanted and needed in a mate. We both have rather, I would say, traditional views in terms of marriage and gender roles.
Mhm.
So that was a huge thing because he is 6 years younger than I am. And so, that was, I guess that was kind of unique to find, quite honestly.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you see, it's those unique things that I think most people are attracted to specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like when you find a person with whom you are attracted to, like their unique qualities and their
Yeah.
unique elements of their life. I think this boils down to, attraction, um, and decision. That's it. When you're talking about the one, you're talking about attraction, and then you're talking about decision. You cannot make the decision without attraction, of course, but you
Yeah.
really you have to dig deeper into your understanding of attraction. You have to
Yeah.
understand what you are attracted to. But if you're too shallow, you'll never figure it out. You'll never figure it out because you're too shallow and you think, oh, he don't look like this, he doesn't look like that, or
Yeah.
he doesn't make that kind of money or this kind of money, or things like that. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not excusing guys though, for real. I'm not excusing guys for not taking care of themselves. If you know you got to hit that gym, then that's what you need to do. If you know you got to spend your money right, then that's what you need to do. I'm not excusing guys from that.
Right.
But at the same time, just because a guy doesn't have this or that at the
Yeah.
time of your acquaintance does not mean, so long as that blood is still pumping, that guy got an opportunity to change that life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't you miss it because of what he was lacking at that moment. Now, don't get me wrong, Lisa, because I'll tell you also, I'm telling you a lot of things tonight, I guess, but in my personal opinion, I do have. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this,
Uh-oh.
but I got a cutoff. I got a cutoff on the thickness factor.
Okay. Everybody
Got a
has their
cutoff.
preferences.
I got a cutoff. At some point, I'm not a supermodel, and I'm not in the gym every day myself. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I do have a cutoff.
Okay. Everybody has their preferences. Everybody
Right.
has their preferences. And I mean, it just is what it is. It's
Right.
nothing, that's just real.
As always, if you loved what you saw, please make sure that you subscribe and always turn the notifications bell right down below on so that way you can always know when we got new videos coming out. We absolutely are thrilled to say thank you for watching. As always, thank you for watching Life Unscripted.